You see, if it weren't for wolves, we wouldn't have math. And if we didn't have math, we wouldn't have science. And if you don't have science, you don't got cell phones, video games, automobiles, matchbox cars, anything. You wouldn't have anything if it weren't for math, if it weren't for science and technology. And this is the story, the true story of how it came from wolves. See, about 9,000 years ago in Omaha, Nebraska, there was this chicken farmer named Ralph. And Ralph had a fence that he had all his chickens in. One morning he came out to feed the chickens and he's looking around, something was wrong. Something was amiss. Something was very, very strange that morning. You see, they hadn't had numbers yet. They didn't have such a thing. Numbers weren't invented. But Ralph knew that he had more chickens the day before. There were chickens missing, basically, okay? And he suspected foul play. He figured the wolves got his chickens. So he called his buddy Frank over. Frank was a farmer on the other side of the property there. He raised corn, doesn't matter. So anyway, Frank came over and Ralph says to him, "Look, didn't I have more chickens? I had more chickens, I'm telling you. I've been missing chickens, but I can't quite prove it. We got to do something. I'm pretty sure it's the wolves." So here's what they figured. They was going to go to the elders, the leaders of the village, and say, "Hey, we got to start killing these wolves because they're stealing my chickens. They're coming in every night, apparently, because I have a lot of chickens missing. Something's going on, and we got to start killing these wolves." Well, the leaders of the village said, "You know, we need evidence. We can't just go around killing wolves. You have to prove to us somehow that the wolves are eating and stealing your chickens." You see, the wolves already knew how to count. They had already figured that out. But people, not so much. The wolves figured, well, these people are pretty stupid. We can go in and steal their chickens, a few of them at a time, and they won't even notice. See, quantity wasn't quite established. There was no numbers, no numeric system yet. But the wolves would do this with their foot to count. They actually knew about numbers. Go in, they would say, go in and steal this many chickens. And that's it, and they'll never notice. So Ralph says, "I got an idea. You see these rocks down here? We'll use a rock for every chicken in my chicken coop here, fenced-in area. For each chicken, we'll take a rock, and the rock will be symbolic of the chicken." See, they didn't know about numbers yet. They just knew about rocks and chickens. So here's what Ralph did. He built another fenced-in area right next to his chicken coops. He had Frank, his buddy, go in there and said, "All right, you throw a chicken over the fence into the empty area here, and for every chicken you throw in, I'll put a rock in this stack here that'll be a pile, and they'll represent the chickens." So throws one over, puts a rock. Throws one over, puts a rock. Throws one over, puts a rock. Till all the chickens were on the other side of the fence, and they had a stack of rocks. Now they had the idea. Tomorrow, when I come out here, if there's not the same amount of rocks here as chickens, then we'll know we're missing chickens. We'll even know how many rocks, chickens, are missing. And then we can take that to the village leaders and prove that the wolves must be killed. So Ralph brought the leaders of the village back to him the next day. Actually, it was 2 days later, and there was quite a few more rocks than chickens. So he figures, I've got this, I've got proof, I've got evidence now, and he explained it. See the chickens? Here's the rocks. There's more rocks than there are chickens. So how does this prove that the wolves are eating your chickens? Because I have more rocks, he said. You see, each rock represents a chicken. There are more rocks here than chickens there. We got to kill the wolves, I'm telling you. Well, the wolves got wind of this and they soon made their own plan. We're going to move to California, the main wolf said. We're going to move to California in about that many days. And in the meantime, the people in the village finally were convinced they had to do something about the wolves. So they all got together and they got pitchforks and you know those lights, torches on the end of the sticks. And they started running out into the woods. They were going to kill the wolves. The wolves really had a problem now because people figured out math. But it was okay, don't worry, the wolves got away. They moved to California and started a commune. One of the wolves was a little concerned about the Manson family, but they said don't worry about that. And Ralph went on to actually put names to the rocks. Not the rocks, what they represented, which was chickens. Not really chickens, but numbers. So he invented 1, the digit 1, the word 1, 2, and so forth. And when he got up to 9, he was just tired. He couldn't figure it out anymore. So he said, just take the 6 and flip it upside down. I'm out of ideas. And then after that, we'll just repeat them. 1 0 will be 10, so forth and so on. And these things will go on forever. And that's it, folks. That's how numbers were invented. That's how wolves played a part. And like I said, if it weren't for wolves, we wouldn't have numbers. Subscribe to the show. This is Steve Thomas saying goodbye for now and grab the wolf by the throat and shake it. Goodbye.